Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I have an amazing episode for you guys today. I have a very honorable man, somebody who has gone through extreme life experiences and has definitely come out on top. Somebody that has my respect totally. Kyle Reid, he is also my personal trainer, somebody that I hope to build a fantastic relationship with. And here you go. You want one of these? Monster water.
I got my water. I'll be good with water for now.
Biggest hands in the game.
I got my pre-workout ready for after this. So
What's that like, dude? What does that do to you?
to me,
Yeah.
spikes my heart rate pretty good. It gives me a really big tingle, mainly in my ears. And it's kind of like that. Fuck, dude, I gotta lift something.
But how long does it last?
I mean, it'll kick in within about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll start to feel that tingle, and then the tingle will go away after about 30 minutes into a workout, and I'll usually make it last only about an hour and 20. Like, if I'm really going for like a marathon lift, maybe hour and a half.
That's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
That's heart attack for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I would die.
It's 305 milligrams of caffeine shot right to your heart, like almost immediately.
Well, that's not that bad, though.
I mean, how much caffeine is in a Monster? Only like 160, I think.
180, no?
Yeah, 160, 180, something like that.
There are
So
days
double
where,
that straight to the face.
There
Yeah.
are days where I drink Monsters. Those Monsters like it's water though, so
Sometimes they do. Oh, this is only 140.
140, okay.
Sometimes they do me. Sometimes they don't.
man, I'm kind of upset that you actually got like a good guest with something to talk about this week.
What are you talking about?
Because I have something to talk about, but I
Oh,
guess I'll
dude.
save it.
I'm down for
What you
both.
got?
I got stealth fired.
No.
Yeah.
What happened?
Amazon is just like, yeah, your contract's up, but the company I work for is like, no, your contract is until August. I don't know what they're talking about, but you can't go in because they're not going to pay you. So,
So now you're straight unemployed.
pretty much, yeah, unless this gets fixed or my company finds me a new position. Yeah.
Jesus,
Well,
fuck.
that's not cool, bro. Why would
No.
you start us off like this?
Because this
Hey,
happened
so
on
my mom died, and
this happened on Tuesday, and I've been
Lost my
just
job.
waiting to tell you
my
about
dog got run over. Mad at you. You got a good guess, though.
it. Yeah. How dare you? How dare?
Sorry, bro. Okay. What's up, dude?
You know, just another day in the neighborhood, living
How
the
old are
dream.
you?
30.
We're close.
Yeah, you're only like 7 months younger than me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you're in like September, right?
September.
Yeah.
Damn. That's personal.
Hold on.
trainer of the year, bro.
Hold on. Let me take a guess.
Bro, if you
September 10th.
my fucking dick is hard right now, bro. 9 hours coming up. So, you're my personal trainer.
Yeah, man.
I've never had one before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never understood somebody that is not my size teaching me how to use my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been the type of dude. I've been in the gym since I was like 12.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching Pumping Iron. I grew up watching the making of these documentaries. Jay Cutler, Ripped to Shreds. All these, all these fucking monsters.
Yeah.
And then, so I've adapted that style of lifting, that style of being.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you come in the middle of my set telling me that I'm doing it wrong. Because I'm fucking yanking weight. And you're like, no, dude, do it like this. And I'm like, but this isn't going to work. And you got me doing fucking slow, controlled mode. Why is that? What am I doing wrong? And does that not work at all?
So lifting heavy is not bad. It's when it's done properly. The thing is that you need to learn the movement properly at the lighter weight, so that way you can do it properly at the heavier weight. When you were doing that row, you were making this big jerk where you were literally. So it was meant to be using the back muscle. You started with the arm and then gave a lean back, and you took your back completely out of the movement. So the entire row was actually just an arm movement, or you were turning it into a core movement because you were making this big rotation here. So the thing is that when you can control your weight and literally make that change either midway through the rep and go, no, I'm not done yet, do a pulse movement, or just keep that time under tension right? That constant muscle flex. If I really wanted to, I could actually gain muscle just flexing my muscles,
I've heard that.
right? It's that time under tension. So if you just flex and flex and flex
Right.
and flex, you can actually build muscle. It's not really going to be very practical, and it's going to take 5 ever to get there, but it is doable.
That was cute, bro. I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
5 ever.
Takes 5 ever. It's just a little bit longer than 4 ever. So when you maintain that time under tension, you're getting a much better gain from that, and it's burning more calories doing it.
So what I was doing was it useless? Because at first you walked up and you were like, good, but
So it wasn't completely useless. It was because of what you were trying to accomplish, which was a back movement.
right, I was back day.
Right. So doing a back movement, that wasn't doing a back movement. That was doing little bit of an arm movement and an oblique core movement.
Okay.
So you were still moving the weight, and it wasn't dangerous by any stretch of the imagination. But because of what you were focusing on, that's where it was improper. And so then that's why I came over and changed that on you.
See, for me, it's kind of hard to because like I said, when I was working out by myself, I was trying to just do those isolation movements, and it was hard because I'm so big, I got to hold myself in one position. So jerking the weight sometimes is almost the only way I know how to get it up.
Right.
Because if I go slow and controlled, I'm leaning, and now I've got to compensate because of my weight.
Right.
So what is the best way to make sure that you're hitting just that designated muscle?
Lightweight and slow movements.
But that doesn't make sense to me, bro.
It doesn't. But the reason why is because you have that mindset of the way that I can build muscle is to lift heavy weights.
Yeah.
And that's a mindset that's been set into a lot of people. And that's why when you see like CrossFitters that do get injured, right? CrossFit is not a dangerous sport at all. It's only dangerous when you're doing it improperly. But when you see all these people that are trying to just move all the massive amounts of weights without actually learning how to do the movements properly, then you get to this point where you're having to spend 4, 5, 6 days trying to recover from that movement because you're putting so much torque on the joints, in excess of tension and strain on the muscles. And so then it's almost like overtraining, where if someone was to train 5, 6 hours a day, right, that isn't used to it, that's extreme overtraining, and they're actually causing themselves more harm than good. And so when you lower that weight and you can take your time through the movement, right, then what that's doing is teaching you how to move the weight properly, so that way you can build in weight. It's that age-old saying, slow and steady wins the race. I had the same mindset that you did, where I felt like the need to lift everything heavy as much as I
Clanging
could.
and banging, just being a beast, throwing weight around.
Exactly, because that's what we learned was how you built muscle.
Right.
And it wasn't until my shoulder injury, that I actually started to understand that I can kick my own ass with a thin ass band and go, what the fuck just happened to me?
Yeah.
Like, it just takes you a whole nother world. And then the next day, yesterday I did chest day, and I'm fucking sore today. And I touched only one barbell. I did bench for a little bit, and then other than that, it was plates and bands, and that was it. And I'm fucking wrecked today.
Right up there on that shelf behind that beaver, somebody sent me a whole bag of resistance bands from my TikTok. They just sent it to my P.O. box, and it goes from like 10 to 50 pounds with bands and a door stop and all this stuff. They're
Dude.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're amazing.
that's going to be awesome.
They definitely took care of me, but I set it up just to try it out, and then I was doing those slow motions. But I think with bands, it was the whole time.
And it's getting tougher as you're moving further and further into
Right.
it, because you're making that stretch longer. So it's causing more tension.
Right.
So if you ever notice that how you're kind of like shaking during a movement, right? That's instability of the muscle. So
Is that too heavy?
No, not at all. It just means that you're going to want to take it just as slow to make sure that you build up that stability of the muscle. So when you keep that time under tension, you're teaching your muscle how to remain stable during the movement. So it would start like this and then progressively get slower and slower until it looks like a slow controlled movement.
Have you ever been taught to lift like that?
Yeah, every single time I've gone to lift, that's been what they want me to do.
Never, dude.
Because, normally when I start working out again after a long period away from it, I'll check out a personal trainer for the first few sessions, at least to get myself back into it and to remember how to move. Because I mean, honestly, I'm just being lazy. If I can lift lighter things and make it work for me, just like a heavier thing would be, I'm gonna rather do the lighter thing.
My ego kicks in, dude, and I'm like, this guy next to me is throwing around 250. I need to hit 250.
I ain't got no ego in the gym. Look at me.
I do, and look at me.
Yeah, but you have a history of being not that. I've pretty much always been this.
Okay, well, that's true. But he wasn't. So do you feel that you have any, like, did you ever have to get over any ego stuff?
I still am.
You still are?
I still am, yeah. I mean,
you teach people that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and it's hard for me to essentially admit that, right? It is that, like, you got to be big, you got to be huge, you got to be jacked.
Right.
But if you actually watch, like, a lot of the like the physique competitions, most of the competitors, they're doing like 25-pound dumbbells.
I know.
And just curling them and taking sweet time doing it too. But you see how fucking jacked they are, right? Now most of their muscle, yes, they have a lot of muscle, but most of it isn't practical and useful. And by that, I mean, like, if I had them like do a heavy bench press or something like that, right? You know, try to find out their max. Yeah, they're probably taking their time working on it, but it's not going to be as much as you would expect them to be. Right. Whereas, like, if you see a power lifter who can bench 400 pounds, he's got that big gut, and he doesn't have a shit ton of definition, but he started off light and has been working his way up in time.
And for powerlifting, right, the bigger your core is, the more stable you are. Is that why they're not worried about the six packs and stuff? Because they're just throwing up stupid weight. Mm-hmm. So my question was, if I'm trying to bench 315 and I'm just throwing it, mm-hmm. and you come up and say, hey, that's not good, controlled motion, slow and everything, how long does it take to get to the point to hit a 315 slow and controlled like that?
So my max bench is 315.
Now? Even with your shoulder?
Not with the shoulder. Yesterday, I just gave it a test out. I haven't benched over like 135 in probably 8 months.
Oh, okay.
And I hit 225 for 5 yesterday.
Yeah.
And
slow like that?
It was a movement, but it wasn't like a bounce it off my chest and then like exploded up. It was, I got it down, brought it to my chest, pressed it right back. But I made sure that my change in direction was quick, because the quicker that you can make that change in direction, right, from one direction to the other, more momentum carries over.
Do those quick explosive movements ever come in handy for any other style of lifting? So what kind of style would that be? Like, what have I been doing, and what are you getting me into? So
you've been doing,
you can, if it's sloppy, just say sloppy.
It's just been heavy.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to get you into is more of, you've been doing the muscular power type of lifting.
Okay.
I'm trying to get you into muscular endurance lifting. So the difference between those two, there's actually another stage between those two. So there's muscular endurance, muscular hypertrophy, and then muscular power. So I have you in the muscular endurance phase right now, because this is where it's the most important for you to learn how to move those weights properly, right? To reduce the probability of injury, as well as help increase your recovery time. And then we would switch from muscular endurance to hypertrophy, and that's where you start growing the muscles and you start working up to heavier sets. So let's say we do like 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps with a 30 to 45 second break, right? Like we were talking about that first session.
That was way worse than anything I've done on my own.
Yep.
And it was way lighter weight.
Yep.
When you walked up to me with those 22.5s, I was like, what are you giving me, bro?
Yep.
But then you had me hold it and do that, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. And then my arms were burning, and I couldn't use them the next day.
Yeah.
I've been lifting since I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
That has not happened to me in such a long time.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. It blew my mind.
Right. And it's just because it's one of those things, it's just ignorance, and not like in a bad way.
No,
right?
I get it. If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you just didn't know. And so now that you've actually been exposed to it, like, I mean, we talked about it that day. It was very frustrating for you to acknowledge that was a challenge for you. But the thing is that the sooner that you can get over that bridge of it's okay to lift light. I mean, dude, you see the way that I look. You saw me just out in the hall, right, when I was changing shirts and everything. I don't lift heavy, but I can if I choose to. Sure. I can still walk up to a barbell and deadlift 365 cold, mm-hmm. and I'm 150 pounds, mm-hmm. and that wouldn't make sense to most people.
Getting out of bed.
I was just thinking, man, I wish I could deadlift like 700 pounds. Dang, twice my body weight.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How long have you been lifting?
like actually lifting, probably 10 years, maybe. Like I lifted a little bit in high school. Like I did very much what you were doing, where I just had to try to lift as much as possible. So I was 100
From the same influences as me, just
yeah,
watching
essentially.
Arnold, watching Phil Heath, watching Kai Green. These
I did
guys.
the strongman competitions. So
did I.
I used to watch those. So
Yeah. I did
watching-
a raw powerlifting championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like watching all of those, right? That I was just like, oh man, yeah, I got to lift heavy. So I mean, a senior in high school, I was 130 pounds. I had a 250 bench. I had a 225 squat, and I was part of the 1,000-pound club with 4 lifts.
Yeah.
At 130 pounds. But I was always in pain. And I didn't know why. And then I went into the Marine Corps, and then my lifting went from actually lifting to just running, 600 million miles a day.
Fresh out of high school?
About a year. I took a year off. I had a scholarship, a track scholarship to a college, and they took it because I got a tattoo. Yeah.
That's
Unfortunate.
lame.
It was a religious college. I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was a religious college, and my ex at the time, who got me to convert to the religion, told the administrative people that I got a tattoo, and in the religion you can't get tattoos because it's like going up to a church and spray painting it, basically, because they say your body's the temple.
All right.
Okay, so they said, excuse me, sir, you're actually going to need to repent for that tattoo. And I thought about it for a second. I said, okay, well, here's the thing. Repentance means that you regret what you've done,
Right.
which I don't,
Right.
and you promise to never do it again, which I'm probably going to.
Right.
And so then they're like, well, sorry, sir, we're going to have to
And
take your
at that
scholarship.
point, who's more honest?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the
exactly.
word repent means to turn away from. It's a literal 180 and walk away.
Yeah.
If you already know that you're going to get tattoos, but this guy's telling you, but he's secretly watching porn on the side, who's more honest? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? All right. Sorry.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
you're good. Yeah, so they're like, well,
Sorry,
we're
bro. I've fallen. I think I have
mean-
ADD or something, bro. So I get onto these crazy rants and I forget what we're talking about sometimes.
Don't
so
worry,
if I cut
dude.
you off a lot and I do that. It's just because I'm so fucking excited.
Nah,
that I
man, you're
can't-
good. I have ADOS too, so it's all
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
By that logic, the man who admits to the 9 hours thing is the most honest.
Oh, dude.
That's why I said I didn't know if I
Super
should applaud
humble.
you or just give you a hug and tell you everything's going to be okay.
The most honest that has ever been.
Bro, that's the worst and the best thing about you is a 9 hour. Have you ever handled a 9 hour session? I would
No.
fall apart, dude.
No.
And that's not even like, I'm digging myself deeper into the hole. That's not even like a statistical outlier. I've come close to that before. That's not just like this one time I went crazy.
See, I think like there was only one time, and it was when I was still like
He's
in my
training.
adolescence, discovering my body, right? So like I had one marathon session, and it was like maybe 2 hours,
Nah,
2.5
dude,
hours.
I was 24. Was not
Oh my God.
discovering myself.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
he
dude,
knew
I was
where
like
he
16. Like, there's a reason why my forearms look like fucking Popeye. All right.
Oh, bro. Shit. Well, whatever. What's up with the military stuff?
Yeah, so I was always pretty much just running, but so when I went into boot camp, they put me on double rations. So I had to eat twice the amount of food in the same amount of time as everybody else because I was so small, you could literally count my ribs as I stood there. So they were like, dude, well, they didn't say dude. They said, hey, fuckface, we're going to get you on
Same
double
thing.
rations. Yeah, it's basically,
thing.
yeah, that's the drill instructor equivalent of hey, dude.
And
So-
we're going to take his, and they point at me. We're going to take his rations, and we're going to give them to
They're-
you.
Yeah, exactly. So they had me on double rations, but they were supposed to keep me on it for only a month, and they forgot to take me off of it for the entire 3 months. So
Did you get huge?
I went in at 130 and I left at 175.
Nice.
I gained 45 pounds in 3 months.
Nice.
And then in the next 3 months, but I was a fat 175.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I had like the chubby cheeks. I had the huge bubble butt. Like when I had stopped moving, my ass wouldn't. You know, it would
Oh,
just
bro, say
keep
more.
going.
Yeah.
Say more. You're giving them a little bit of 9 hours.
I see it.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
Well, share it with the whole class.
Yeah,
What do you-
he's
just
gonna be walking
stand
out
up.
of here bent a little bit, just leaning forward.
It's not even a mic stand.
I like how you can visibly see me look for anything to derail this
Sorry,
conversation.
bro. So chess, huh?
Yeah. Wow, look at that. But yeah, so like I went on to combat training and everything like that, and I gained another 31 pounds. So then, like, I hit my max weight. My max weight was only like 206. But the first time I stepped on the scale, I had to actually. The first time I hit 206, I had to look past my belly. I had to lean forward to look at the scale, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Fuck no."
How does it?
Nope.
How does that feel? Because you said, what did you say? 208.
206.
206, and that's like 40 pounds below my recommended weight. Mm-hmm. So like you with your heaviest is still significantly less than me at my smallest. What is that even?
I mean,
like?
yeah, because you're what, like 6'3", 6'4"?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just
Which
hit
one?
6'4".
There you go.
6'3" if I slouch.
I'm like barely hitting 5'9". And then my entire family, I mean, on my biological father's side, I'm the giant in my family. I'm 4 inches taller than the next tallest person in my family on that side.
Jeez.
On my mother's side, like my grandfather's 5'8", my mom's 5'6", so like and we're all small build people. So it is kind of like that. We lived off that Scottish and Irish diet, you know. So that
Just
constantly running, huh?
Potatoes.
Yeah, essentially
Potatoes and
meat.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
But I also grew up in northern Montana, so I mean everything that we had, we were, you know, hunting for, hunting,
really?
fishing. Mm-hmm. Not everything, but I mean we had like a grocery store. It was 20 miles away. But like my dad, as soon as deer season, elk season,
find the Dorito tree. Like I don't know where to find it.
Oh, dude, I've been looking on my bed for that. I still can't find it. The fabled Dorito tree.
The Dorito tree, bro.
Yeah, man. So, but like while I was in the Marine Corps and everything like that, I was going to the gym, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I literally went in and bench press, deadlift, squat, cool, leave. Did the same thing on my deployment. You know, we had a makeshift gym, and so it was we didn't have a squat bar, so it was deadlift, bench press, and then leg press. And that's really where I enjoyed the majority of my lifting was on that leg press. Like when I left, I could leg press like 1,200 pounds for 10.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I came back and
For 10?
For 10.
The most I've ever hit was 1208.
Yeah.
I did one time.
Yeah, I hit it for 10. But that was literally
That's nasty.
one-time thing, and that was 10 years ago.
That's nasty, bro.
Yeah.
That's
ridiculous.
hefty.
Yeah, we loaded up. So it was, like I said, it literally only had like two bars on it instead of 4. So we had them all loaded up
Every
with
45,
45s.
every 35, and then Jamie Chester sitting on the top.
2. I had 2 people having
okay.
and they actually like laid across the top.
Yeah.
And that's how I made my 1,200 pounds.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
They like wrote my name down on this like placard, and it's up on the. I graduated from a rinky-dink school, but it's still there. And
That'd
it's
be
like,
awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But 10 times, I did it once.
Yeah. That was the same deployment. I hit 315 on my bench, and it was literally 3 weeks after a dislocation in my shoulder. I hit 315. I got pissed off, and I was getting pissed about my shoulder, and that was actually my first dislocation that led up to the following 12 that eventually led to my surgery.
You said where were you deployed to?
Afghanistan.
Really? Mm-hmm. What was that like?
Hot.
Worse than here?
Fuck yeah.
Like how hot?
Hottest day I saw was 143.
What do you do?
Perish if you're outside for 10 minutes.
Basically, you tried to sit in your tent and you just chugged water while you were sweating it out. Literally, like as I was drinking it, I was sweating it out.
Just a sauna.
Yeah.
That's miserable.
We had an AC unit that was pumping
just some dude
lukewarm air. I probably would have taken that instead of the fucking
man,
AC.
That's not good.
It was so hot that what I would do is I got a care package full of like Gatorade and ramen once. Mm-hmm. So I drank my Gatorade, cut the top off. Right, so you know how it has like that little bulb, and then so I cut that top piece off, filled it with water, and then crushed up my ramen, put it in the ramen. I set it outside on a metal pallet. 15 minutes later, it was fully cooked.
Dude,
yeah.
How long were you there?
7 months. I got there March 24th. No, I left from the U.S. March 24th, and I got back to the U.S. October 28th.
Were you just deployed one time?
I had one combat deployment, and then I went to UAE about 4 months after I got back from my deployment.
Did you see anything? Any action? Really?
I wouldn't say I was... We were catching a lot of rocket fire. The area that I was very close to... I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Battle of Marja. So it was the largest joint operation during Operation Enduring Freedom, which is the entire time in Afghanistan. So it was the largest joint operation. It was a huge battle. The base that I was on was 5 kilometers away from that spot, and I was there a month after it happened, 2 months after it happened. So we would still catch like rocket fire, mortar fire, everything like that. But
Where does your mind need to be to survive that? Where did you go?
I don't even fucking know, man.
Really? Are you still over there?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that seizure I told you about the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a flashback, and I was back in Afghanistan during that time.
And what happened? Clang of weight or?
No, it's just so I have hallucinations 24/7, always with me. So every now and then they'll speak or say things to me, or like sometimes they'll kill themselves in like different ways to kind of agitate me and see if it'll, just.
Are these people that you've known?
They were bodies I carried.
Wow.
So while I was over there, I carried a total of 32 bodies for hero flights or angel flights. And it was to get them sent home so that way they could be buried properly by their families. And they were all different nationalities. There was 32 bodies. Out of the 32, 13 of them didn't have bags. And those are the ones that I see. So there was like one who...
Did you know any of them?
Yeah. Yep. One of them was actually a Navy corpsman who got shot on a patrol that I was supposed to go on, or I volunteered for. But my corporal at the time was like, "No, dude, you're staying here. We got flights today. You got shit to do." I was like, "Fuck. All right." He got shot on that patrol, and he's one of my good friends. And he...
You feel like that should have been you? Do you feel guilty about that? Really?
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's something that sits with me most days. Especially because when he got brought into the medical tent, it was right next to the flight line where I was working. So I saw him coming in. And so I went in there and I was talking with him, trying to help him out, trying to get him through it. He took a shot to the chest and he's bleeding out on the table. So the docs are, getting the bullet out of his chest, and I'm sitting there talking with him, and I'm trying to help keep him just awake and aware. So I'm like, "Hey, dude, when you get back, how many bitches you gonna fuck when you get back? Like, how many strip clubs you gonna go to? Like, I'm buying your first 200 lap dances."
And you're just lying to him, man.
Yeah, doing anything I can just
for him.
Yeah, just to keep him just talking.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then I have this guitar pick, and I probably should have brought it today too. I have this guitar pick that I got from Five Finger Death Punch, actually. So I did I was working backstage at one of their concerts in North Carolina, and Jason Hook spun around and flicked the guitar pick at me. So I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So it came with me on my deployment. The weird thing is that whenever a stressful situation happened, that pick always seemed to be in my pocket. Always, every single time. First body I carried, last body I carried, when he's dying on the table. So I grabbed that pick, and every time that I would experience that stress, I take that pick out and I rub it, and we're like, this is like, I try to reconnect myself to reality, like just touch something physically.
Trying to go home.
Just like, fuck, this is all right. This is real. This is here. This is where I'm at. I'm right here. So I was trying to do the same thing. So I put the guitar pick in his hand. And I'm sitting there like, rub this pick. Right. I want you to feel this pick between your fingers, and I want you to tap it for me. And so he starts tapping it a little bit, and then the tapping starts slowing down. And so I'm sitting there trying to talk to him. I was like, "Hey, come on, man. You got to stay with me." And then just that movement slowed down and then stopped, and then his hand opened and he was gone.
And that's it.
So the only thing I can do was I could pull that guitar pick out of his hand and start trying to connect myself.
Yeah.
So then we had to get ready for his hero flight, and I had to help carry him. There was an Afghani soldier who I knew who actually, without me knowing, saved my life. Him and this other soldier were arguing back and forth in Pashtun, screaming at each other. So we gave them all nicknames because most of the time we couldn't pronounce their entire name.
Sure.
So I could pronounce his name. His name was Hassan. So I think everyone else called him Johnny Bravo because he always liked to wear like sunglasses, and he was one step away from asking people to do the monkey with him.
Okay. Yeah.
So but I called him Hassan. He was a good guy. And so he's arguing with this other guy that we called Mikey. And so they're arguing back and forth, and all of a sudden Hassan just cold cocks him.
Takes off, huh?
Knocks him out. cold, and like kind of drags him away, and comes back like 20 minutes later. I was like, dude, Hassan, what the fuck was that? And he goes, well, he was talking bad, so I had to punish him. And I was like, the fuck
That's
you mean?
gangster.
So I was like, well, I don't know what you mean, but he's like, don't worry about it. So like, okay. Well, then the next day, Mikey didn't show up, and another guy did. So I was like, hey, what happened to Mikey? And they're like, well, the command didn't like what he was saying, so they punished him. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, it's come to find out that he was actually plotting to kill me and three other Marines that were working with him, because he just hated Americans. So he was planning on killing me the next day, and his command shot him.
Damn.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? How do you even fathom that?
Talk about bad coworkers, am I right?
Dude.
I'm sorry.
No, dude. Dude, please diffuse the tension as much as possible.
I just got fired from Amazon. Same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who
Bad work days, right?
Yeah, dude.
who hasn't thought about it, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Dude, you're fucking dirty.
So
Bad coworkers, huh?
you gotta love those bad coworkers, man. The main reason why Mikey didn't like me though was because he was trying to take my knife. He looked me dead in the eye, and I had my knife on the table, and he looked me dead in the eye and then reached over, grabbed my knife, and then tried to put it in his pocket. And I was like, Mikey, what are you doing? And he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, you took my knife, you fuck. What are you doing? So we got into an argument about it, and
So now I'm confused.
This is before. This is why Mikey wanted to kill me.
Okay.
Mikey's the one that, yeah. So Mikey wanted to kill me because I confronted him about him stealing my knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he wanted to take out other people too?
Yeah, because he had other reasons for them. Like if they were probably being dicks or something like that. Because I mean, it's Marine Corps, dude. That's what we do.
So what do you think happened to him? Like why did he start doing that kind of stuff? Did the heat get him?
No, it's.
Did he go there in order to do that?
Not every Afghani soldier likes Americans.
Sure.
About half of them think that we're just, invading their space.
Right.
And we were, So they're like, why the fuck do we have to be with these people that we absolutely don't like?
Yeah.
Why is this a thing? So I think it was just built up tensions over time. And I think he just had enough. So.
And you're eating with this guy, sleeping next to him.
Mm-hmm. Like there was a couple Marines who, and this kind of irks me a little bit, right? Because I let people believe what they want to believe, type of thing, and so in the Muslim religion, you don't touch pork, and so we had a chow hall that we were sharing with the ANAs, Afghani National Army, so the ANAs. So we were sharing a chow hall with them, and they always tell you what's on the menu that day, right? So it was pork that day. And so a lot of them were asking, like, what is this? And most of the Marines were like, oh, it's chicken, dude. Oh, dude, chicken. Eat it. You're
dirty.
fine. Yeah, and just doing them all dirty. And so I could see how some of them were like...
That just adds to the fire.
It does.
You already don't like them.
Right.
And then you're trying to, yeah.
And then they're literally, like, spitting on your religion at the same time, right? So it's just... Tensions build.
And so 7 months and 32
bodies.
That's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was over a 3-month period.
Yeah. Did you have anybody here waiting for you?
When I got back, my parents couldn't make it down. And then my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, I was knee deep in trying to cope with the fact that I now had PTSD. Mm-hmm. I started experiencing my hallucinations October 5th of 2011, and I got back October 28th. Mm-hmm. So, and like I told you, right, I got back from my deployment, and it was like, nope.
And we've talked,
right?
I mean, the bottle was the best friend.
Mm-hmm. So when I got back, I'd actually broken up with her at the time because I was like,
your wife now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, she's not gonna wanna have to hear about this, right? So
damaged goods.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, not only damaged goods, but I was also, like I said, I was planning on killing myself. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want her to have that on her conscience.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah. So.
I get that more than I would want to, but yeah.
It's because of those bad coworkers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. Bro.
What?
most bad coworkers. You're
That's what-
comparing
That's what you have.
Amazon to Afghanistan.
They both start with an A.
I guess,
Close
bro.
enough.
You know, that's what you have me here for.
Yeah, that's
Don't pretend like you don't love it.
it, bro.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I mean, like I got back. So we flew in the country. We got back. We landed in Maine, and had a 12-hour delay in Maine, waiting, literally sitting in the States, waiting to actually get back to California.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 12-hour delay. I was like,
You're not gonna make it.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got back at like 2 a.m. And once we got there, everybody else's, well, not everybody else, but pretty much everybody else's family was there, or they had someone to come pick them up. And before I actually had a chance to ask for a ride, they all disappeared. So I had all my deployment gear. I was still sitting in my camis, and I was on Main Side, Camp Pendleton. I had to walk my happy ass from Main Side to Del Mar, and I think it's like 5-6 miles, something like that, with all my shit
All your stuff.
at 2 a.m.
Already not yeah.
Already have PTSD, right? Hallucinations, and that shit was like, at the time, I was like,
Really? What are you seeing? I mean, are you seeing the same thing over and over, just different?
so I usually see anywhere from 1 to 3 of my hallucinations every day, and they differ from day to day. So like today I have 2,
And you said 24/7.
24/7.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
What do am I okay?
Yeah, you're good.
That sucks, bro. What do you do?
I mean, basically every time that you and I have talked, right? Every time that you see me talking with somebody, there's one right here, and there's one over there.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're just talking. They just talk random shit. They do like, it should be you, not me. Why are you still living? Right? You should do right by us and take your own life. And it's a lot of that survivor's guilt. And that's, one of the hardest things to get over is because, and I will probably never get over that. And I don't really know any vets that will to get over that survivor's guilt, right? Because especially when it's someone I mean, even for the ones I didn't know, right? One of them had been decapitated, and I had to carry his head in my hand and his body over my shoulder. So I didn't know the guy at all. Had zero connection with him. Never saw him a day in my life. Yet I still felt responsible for his death.
So that's tragic and brutal, but the question in the back of my mind is, why of all people didn't he have a body bag? If there's literally 2 different pieces of him, you'd think that
We ran out.
Yeah, so they already used them.
Yeah. He was like number 6 out of 13.
That's so nuts, bro. And
And it was a 350-yard walk from where we were picking them up from to where they had to go to.
you still talk to anybody
From my deployment?
from your deployment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have 2 friends that I talk to. One lives in Missouri, and the other one lives in California.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another one who lived in Boston, but he intentionally overdosed in 2018.
Fuck.
Yeah. I have a few more that I still, like, I see them, and I'll check on them every now and then. But out of the ones that I consistently reach out to, the one in Missouri, we've had very similar experiences. His was a little bit more actively tragic. Mine was dealing with dead bodies. His was a Cobra got shot down and literally like crashed.
Cobra?
Yeah, a Cobra.
Helicopter?
Helicopter.
Okay.
Yep. It crashed on his landing pad, and he had to pull both of the guys from the wreckage. One was already dead, and then the other one died within like 30 minutes. And he pulled them both from the wreckage. So he lives with that as well. And again, it's not his fault, but I mean, he'll still call me every once in a while at 1, 2 in the morning and just bawling. Be like, dude, I can't get them out of my fucking head. Fucking same.
Now, what about the fighting?
What do you mean?
So firefights and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Does that stuff bug you, or is it the other stuff?
Because
everything that you brought up is the bodies and the
right.
You know,
So Hassan, I didn't tell you how Hassan died.
Are you cool talking about this? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I know.
Yeah. So that's literally about mainly about my deployment. I've actually done it. The reason why I talk more about it is because
explain what's for people that are just listening. What is this?
So what's in there is that's actually a magazine from my college that I went to. I went to the University of St. Thomas in St. Paul, Minnesota, and one day I was on the dive team. So I started off actually. I went there to be on the swim team, but my shoulder kept dislocating during tryouts. It went out 5 times in the first 6 days, and I just kept putting it back in and swimming, and just like fuck, nope, swim. So my shoulder wouldn't stop dislocating. So then I was like, well, maybe I need to switch it up. And the dive coach approached me and he was like, hey, have you thought about diving before? And I was like, well, I used to fuck around on some boards when I was a kid with my little brother and stuff, but other than that, not really. And he goes, are you a little crazy? And I said, well, I think no, but my hallucinations, my therapist and my wife would say yes. So he's like,
sorry, bro, that's not
no,
funny.
dude, it is funny.
okay.
The reason why I try to make light of my situation, because if I didn't, dude, I would be back where I was in 2011, where I felt that need to try to eat a bullet.
I get you.
So I diffuse it. So I'm not offended by you laughing.
No, okay.
So don't worry about it.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not funny,
but it's funny.
I just don't know what to do.
Right. And
I can't.
That's how most people react. Is like, I don't. Like, okay, you're joking. It's kind of like, we can say that, you can't say that.
Sure.
Okay. It's kind of like that, where
I believe that.
I can joke about my PTSD, and I'm okay with other people joking about my PTSD, right? But most people don't know that, and they think it's that mentality of, I don't say it, or I don't say it, but you can say it, right?
I'm here physically, but to me, I died in Afghanistan. So that's where a big chunk of me is still at. That's your quote. Mm-hmm. Oh shit! I was just talking. That's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, man.
Sorry, that's heavy, bro.
So,
can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
So yesterday I heard a quote, and it goes something along the lines of, "A man has 2 lives: the one he's living, and the one when he realizes he only has one to live." Because once you realize that this time is finite, you start doing something with it. I feel like that happened to you. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
I have a quote I like to use actually often is...
what are you smiling about?
Man, I've only got 1 life to live. 9 hours it is.
That's what it clicked for you, bro.
He's like, I only got 1 life.
Man, at the end of 9 hours, you're dehydrated from all the spit, right?
Dude.
Yeah, dude, I feel like you're probably still dehydrated from that.
You're not okay.
There's a reason I drink so much water. Just in a permanent deficit now.
And now you're cross-eyed.
Mm-hmm. And I'm blind. And
Is that what happened? That's got to be what happened.
Yeah, dude.
My mom always warned me of that. My mom always warned me of that.
Yeah, bro.
Good. Now I can let her know that it's actually a thing. She wasn't lying.
Didn't stop him. That's so awesome.
It is.
That's
so
a huge accomplishment. No, not being blind. Never mind, dude. Sorry, man. That's why I can't talk. Go ahead.
Good.
Let me hear you.
No.
All right. So
you're making me... I feel a weird feeling right now.
Yeah.
Because I can only hear you. I can't even pretend to know what the hell.
Yeah.
I've had homies die. Growing up the way I grew up, I've seen it. Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between seeing it and literally living it and trying to survive.
Right.
And so I'm not, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to compare or anything.
Dude, death is death, regardless.
Sure.
I don't care who you are. Death is death.
I understand.
Right? And death affects us all in extremely different ways, and depending on the closeness of the person to us as well.
Yeah.
I cried when all these people that I was carrying their bodies, I cried for every single one of them, right? I didn't know them a bit, right?
No, but you got that connection.
I did. Yeah, right. That physical contact, obviously, it's like, hey, we've gone to places that no one else has really gone to. Right.
You share a life purpose at that point. You're going there in the sandbox to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then, so let's see, October to July. What is that? 9 months. So 9 months later, okay, July 30th, 2012, my wife had her second miscarriage. And my reaction to our first miscarriage was when I was in boot camp, and I was inconsolable. Like, I went and I actually grabbed a hold of my drill instructors and cried in his arms. And it's a drill instructor who's like, what the fuck are you doing? But saw that I was like visibly upset. He goes, what the fuck is happening? brought me into the duty hut, and he's like, he closed the door and goes, "All right, Reed, what the fuck happened?" And I was like, "Well, I just found out that my fiance, because I was 19, we dated for like 2 months. I was like, I love this girl, marry me, right?" So
We've had five miscarriages, and the last one almost killed her.
Yeah.
Like she needed blood transfusion, like she was dying.
Yeah.
And that's such a painful thing to try to deal with, and you're not even home.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was when I was in boot camp. When we had the second one, I was home. I was actually holding her hand while she was miscarrying.
Oh, you were home
For the second one.
Okay.
For the first one, I was in boot camp, and I wasn't home. But the second one, I was home.
Did you know that? Are my listening skills just off?
I mean, it was new information that was currently being presented.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I didn't have a reaction when she miscarried the second time. Like, I legitimately brought her home from the hospital. We were in my hometown. We were at my parents'. And I was like, well, so, I mean, we went and got Subway, so you got some food there. I was like, how you feeling? She goes, well, I'm fucking miserable. We just lost our child. And I was like, yeah, that sucks. Well, I'm going to go play basketball with JT. I'll be back in about 2 hours. My mom's here, so if you need anything, just let me know. So...
Don't you fucking do it, dude.
So that was, I had zero reaction to the fact that I just lost my second child, right? And that's actually what alerted my wife to
something's wrong.
Something's wrong,
right?
And she did, and I hadn't told her I had PTSD,
especially from the first reaction to that, yeah,
right. So that's what alerted her to the idea that I might have PTSD, right? Or she just knew that something was wrong and didn't know what. And it took us another 3 months to actually reach that point of let's get a diagnosis. It started off as marriage counseling and went from marriage counseling to, okay, so you did a, oh yeah, okay, well, sorry, Andy, let's go ahead and talk about combat stress. And then immediately turned from marriage counseling to PTSD. And so that's how I got my first diagnosis.
So was that apparent then? It didn't take a professional long at all?
No,
okay.
It took him less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go, like, he asked me 2 questions about our marriage and then switched it up and immediately went to, let's talk about your deployment. So, I mean, we all experience death in a different way, right? So I didn't have a reaction when I lost my second child, but when my little brother passed away, fuck.
Yeah, I was just looking at that today. I was checking out your Instagram, going through that. What happened?
It was a car accident. So he was...
How the fuck are you still here, bro? I'm serious.
Yeah, man, I would have checked out if I were you.
So that actually brings me to that quote that I was going to tell you about, because I forgot about that. So you told me that quote, right? So I have a different quote that I use, and it's from the author of the book A Child Called It. Okay. So he has this quote where it was, when we experience stress in our life, we have one of 2 choices to make. We can either be a victim of it or we can be a survivor of it. Which do you choose? So I choose to be a survivor, right? Because if I play this victim mentality of, woe is me, I have PTSD, please feel bad for me, it's inviting...
And no one would blame you if you did.
Right, but it's inviting nothing but negative energy your way, right? Whereas when I come in and people see me and they're like, dude, like, what are you doing, right? Like, how are you still standing? How have you not checked out yet? It's because I choose to be a survivor.
Yeah.
Right. I wake up every day and I ask myself the exact same question every single day. And when you meet my wife, I'll be like, hey, honey, what's the question I ask myself every day? She's going to tell you the same thing. It's going to be, okay, is today the day that I eat a bullet, or is today the day that I'm going to get my ass up and go do something awesome?
You told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And that's
every day.
Every single day for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's what I do, is I wake up and I make every day awesome.
I feel like that would bring me significantly closer to death if I put eating a bullet as a viable option every single day. One of these days I would take that option.
But
because
then
it is, but
he's
recognizing that
I'm recognizing it, but I'm visibly choosing to not, right? And the reason why that I choose that is the same reason why I chose not to pull the trigger in November 11, 2011, is because I thought about, well, how's my mom going to react? What's my little brother going to do? My little brother was still alive at this point, right? So he hadn't passed away for another 5 years after that. So what would my little brother think? He was one of my best friends. What would my oldest brother think? My older brother, right? How would they all feel if they knew that I, instead of asking them for help, and literally not telling anybody, because I didn't tell anybody that I was having these issues, right? It took a full year for anybody to hear the word PTSD or even the fact that I had hallucinations with me.
I bet you didn't even want to claim it.
No, dude. What happened was, what happened was.
What happened was. Go ahead, go off.
What actually happened was I became a stellar fucking Marine because I needed to keep my mind occupied so that way I didn't just sit with my hallucinations.
Yeah.
You know, I went from polishing a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue every single night to like, let's get up. I got up at 0400, let's get ready for 05 PT, get back to work. I was doing, when I was a Lance Corporal, so an E3, I was doing the work of a staff sergeant 3 ranks above me, and normally about 4 or 5 years more experience, right? I was doing that type of work because I was just so motivated to do things. I was like, all right, what else you got for me? Thank you, sir. What else you got for me? Awesome. Can't wait to do it. And I just took it off, and I started doing all this shit. I was getting ready for a MU, a Marine Expeditionary Unit, where you basically 7-month booze cruise, dude. You just get on ship and you float around the world. And I was getting ready for that, and they actually put me in charge as a Lance Corporal. They put me in charge of accountability for our entire battalion's materials. Like literally from our biggest vehicle down to the last pen and paper. And I had all that shit organized. I had documents, and if you needed to get into any one of my boxes, you had to sign it out with me first. And it didn't matter what rank you were. It didn't matter if you were corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant, or a lieutenant, right? First or second lieutenant. So I wasn't acknowledging it because I was too busy trying to run from it. And that's why no one knew about it, is because I just wouldn't acknowledge it. I was like, nope. And the reason why was because of the stigma that we learn early on. And it's not by anyone actually visibly, physically saying, you're a bitch if you ask for help. But that's the stigma that was set, was you are a bitch if you ask for help. So don't ask. I understand that. Never fucking ask.
I
right?
get that.
Or kind of like, you're a bitch if you don't lift heavy weights.
Oh, it's 100%, dude. I understand
right? That. And so it's trying to get rid of that stigma. And again, that's why I talk about my PTSD so much, is because one, when I talk about it, my stress levels, they go up a little bit while I'm talking about it. But then my stress levels are leveled out much more because I got that off of my chest.
Well, even now when we started, you were breathing heavy. I could see your lips was quivering, your hands were shaking, and now you're just level-headed. You're cool because you're not giving it that power. You're like, you know what? This is a part of me. It's not me.
Right.
I understand that, dude. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I fucking get it, bro.
Yeah, dude. And it is that mental toughness that,
But even that mental toughness, even though it's stubborn, dude, it fucking helped us survive for such a long time.
It did. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're here because of that.
Yeah.
Now that we've survived what we needed to survive, we can learn new ways to cope with what we're dealing with now.
And spread that information to others.
100%.
And that's why I talk about it. That's why that story came out. Right?
Yeah.
So let me go back to that story.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're
shut
good,
up, bro. And I'll just.
You're good. You're good. So I was on the dive team, and it was one of the first meets, and I'm standing there, and I have all my tattoos out, right? I'm in a private Catholic university, and I have a full sleeve tattoo, right? I'm tatted up. I have a mohawk, and
oh, you're doing it, bro.
Yeah. So one of the photographers for the school magazine saw it, or he took pictures of me and everything like that. One of the guys that does all the stories was like, tell me about this guy with the tattoos. And he's like, I don't know, his name's Kyle, something like that. He's just got a lot of tattoos. I don't know. He's got a dog.
How come every fucking badass Marine is named Kyle? How does that happen?
It's the monsters, man.
I was just gonna
it's
say,
baptism by monster.
It's just the monsters.
It's over my head, bro.
Oh, okay.
So there's this, I don't know why, there's this weird thing where there's like memes everywhere. Where
oh,
it's like,
monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kyle's get baptized by monsters.
Yeah. Dude, he was showing me monsters as milk and then communion wafers as cereal. He's like, this is how you make a Kyle. Sorry, go.
No truer statement, man.
Go, bro.
It's
Go.
perfect.
So, so the guy's like, I want to know more about this guy. Like, let's try to reach out to him. So they reach out to me, and they do this little piece that they call like get to know your Tommies, right? So I was part of the St. Thomas Tommies. So they reached out to me.
I like how he was like, I'm not going to name the school, but like, bam.
No. I'll name the college that I went to, not the one that I got.
Oh, I thought this was the school.
No.
This was a different one.
Oh, see? Fuck, I'm stupid, bro.
Nah, man.
Go
That's
ahead.
great. You're practicing critical listening skills.
Yes.
Dude, I'm... Go. Go, bro. Talking to the can.
So what we're doing? Okay.
Uh-huh.
No. So they reached out to me and they're like, hey man, we'd like to talk to you. We have this piece that we call Get to Know Your Tommies. We usually like to try to feature at least one athlete from every sport, and we'd like to feature you if that's okay. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Set up the date. So they set it up, and then, February 6th, 2016. I was at a dive meet. I had a seizure on the pool deck. So I got out of it.
Real quick, what was the number you said you've had this year?
Oh, this year I've.
Or wait, how many years did you say?
So over the last 9 years,
Oh.
I've had 3,500 seizures. My first seizure was in November of 2012.
What does that do to you? What does that do to your fucking... Does that take a toll on your mind?
Yeah, it takes a toll on the mind, mainly the body too. It usually feels like I got done running like a marathon back to back, like two
You
of
just
them.
got fucked up.
Dude, yeah. And then sometimes I'll wake up and I'll lose feeling in one of my limbs, arms, legs. So, there was one time I lost feeling in all 4 of my limbs for 8 hours.
I lose feeling in my legs when I go to the bathroom. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, like that tingling. But
Yeah.
mine was I legitimately couldn't move it.
Same
like,
shit, right?
Almost like full on quadriplegic.
Same difference.
Same shit.
Yeah.
Same shit, different toilet,
Same
bro.
shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
So
And are they going to get worse? Or is it the same every time?
the time of year changes the frequency of my seizures.
Also, if you have one, I'm with you. What the fuck do I do?
Okay, so one, if you see me staring off into space for a long period of time, I'm probably in a flashback. But
Okay.
first thing you'll do is like snap, try to get my attention, something.
Okay.
And when you do that, if I literally don't respond, if I still hear and you're like, Kyle, and I'm still not moving, get me to the ground, put something under my head, and you just gotta wait.
I was at the gym one day, and the fire truck shows up, and ambulance shows up, and there's a guy on the ground. And I'm trying to, like, I'm walking past, and I'm asking, did you guys already call the cops? And they said, yeah. And I said, okay. Fuck. I came to the gym like 3 days later, and I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, dude, I just had a seizure at work. I was like, oh shit, that was you.
So I've always heard that for people with seizures, you should put like your wallet in their mouth. Is that true? Or-
So for people who have epileptic seizures, mine are based off of my PTSD. So I have all the appearances of a grand mal seizure. So like my eyes roll, I convulse, I hyperventilate, everything like that. I lose oxygen. But
Do you know it's coming?
No.
It just boom. Okay.
Sometimes it'll be flashback based, or I could literally be in the middle of a sentence and just
Fuck.
not even fucking know.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, it happens. Like I said, dude, it's just part of my daily life. And at this point,
You want me just to fucking Hodor you and hold you and just
Hodor.
you?
Hodor.
Okay, I got
You can Hodor me as long as you're mumbling
I don't
Hodor
know,
along the way.
Of the three of us, it's got to be me who's Hodoring.
You do
right?
look. You do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
besides Drew Carey and
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yeah.
you have a little bit of a Hodor in you.
Yeah. A lot of it.
Dude, we'll just put you in the middle and then we'll hug each other and you won't go
Dude.
anywhere.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be the warmest motherfucker out
I
there.
mean, he's not gonna be able to breathe. We're going to just permanently deflate his
We'll
chest.
figure it out, bro. But like, why are our shirts off?
Skin to skin contact's the best way to help,
keep
man.
you warm, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. Fuck, dude, go.
So
Unplug me, bro. Take me out of here.
So February 6th, right? So I have the seizure on the pool deck, and I come out of it, and I'm pissed about it. So I actually get up and I go and complete a dive. I came out of it. I heard them call my name, and they're like, "Kyle, you're done." And I'm like, "Nope, fuck this." And I stood up and I went and did my dive. I didn't do it very well.
Yeah.
Right, because I was literally so fucking weak. I was like stumbling onto the board. I completed my dive. I get out of the pool, and then I just break down and cry. I was so frustrated. And I spent the rest of the day in this just extreme deep state of depression. I could not bring myself out of it. And I took it as one of those days like, all right, fuck it. You just got to take the day. Right. So I get a phone call from my little brother that day. He had a divisional wrestling meet. And he's like talking to me and he's like, just tell me how he did in the wrestling meet. And I was like, why didn't you take first? Because he took, I think, second. So he qualified for state, right? He took second. I was like, why didn't you take first? You a little bit of a pussy or something? What's wrong? So his wrestling coach is also a prior service Marine. He was our football coach. He's a city judge. He runs the VFW in the town. And his favorite saying was, dig the dirt out of your vagina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that usually what, like, if my little brother would be upset about a match, he'd be like, all right, here's what I want you to do, Jesse. I want you to stand feet shoulder width apart.
Walk him through it.
Take your hand, go ahead and reach on up in your vagina and pull all of that sand out. Every single grain.
Yeah.
Get the fuck over it.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, oh, good old Pear Bear.
Good pickup line.
Yeah. So we have this conversation, right? And then he was asking me how I was doing. I was like, oh, I had a seizure today. I was a little depressed. So we had a conversation about it. Well, we finished the conversation. He's like, hey, buddy, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you soon, because he was coming down to visit him and my mom, getting ready for my conference championships. The next day was February 7th, and it was Super Bowl Sunday. That was the year that it was the Panthers and Broncos. And about 1:33 p.m., he got into a car accident and died on the scene. He was on his way back. He took a Sunday cruise, was on his way back into town. And we have a couple theories as to what happened. We aren't sure. He was what you would call tofu, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he could eat and eat and eat and almost never gain weight. He had a box of cookies in the passenger seat. Part of us thinks that he was reaching over for a cookie and pulled the wheel and drifted over the center lane. The other theory is that he might have been on his phone and drifted over. Had a head-on collision with a semi.
Fuck.
Semi went into one ditch, he went the other. Broke his neck on impact, killed him immediately. If he had survived, he would have been a quadriplegic.
How old was he?
18. Yeah. That was the day after his divisional wrestling meet. So the following week, the entire team had to somehow scrape together enough energy to go and wrestle state. Mm-hmm. And every single one of them placed.
Fuck yeah, they did. Of course they did.
Every single one. And that's never happened in the school's history.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of them placed. And they rocked it. They won state that year. It was absolutely phenomenal, right? And my entire family actually made it back because... So he died on Sunday. I got back Monday. Mm-hmm. His funeral was Wednesday. The next day is when everybody had to leave for the state meet, the day after his funeral. So we all went out and watched the meet and everything like that, and watched them all just kick ass, right? So as soon as he passed away, I sent an email to all of my professors, told them I was dropping out for the semester because I needed to go home and just go be with my parents. I wanted to go and take care of my mom, go take care of my dad. And so they all understood. Except for one professor, she literally never responded, not a single time. Still waiting on a response. Yeah, it's been 5.5 years, still haven't gotten a response from her. So
it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, she could just be, she could be slow checking her emails.
It could have been busy. It could have been really slow. Got lost in the the footground emails.
But it's coming, dude.
It is on its way. I think she's reassured me a few times. It's coming.
It is. Don't worry about it.
So I had to let those guys know that I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do the interview, so.
Carrier pigeon got lost.
Yeah,
bro,
it did. Yeah.
Fucking Hodor.
Hodor. The Pony Express, it failed. It took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
I've always hated it.
I mean, it's easy to get lost in Albuquerque. Everything looks the freaking same.
Oh my God, it really does.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I've driven through Albuquerque a single time, and I was like, did it just pass? You almost thought that there was like a glitch in the Matrix.
The same shit.
I used to live right next to right near Albuquerque, and that was the nearest actual like big box grocery store. Mm-hmm. So that's where we went when we wanted like actual groceries and not like Walgreens groceries.
Yeah,
it's just the same.
And yeah, Albuquerque is just the same street over and over and over again, and occasionally like a little arts and crafts knick-knack store run by some cat lady.
Yep.
Sweet.
That's all. And then meth. Sprinkle in meth. Because you can't have Albuquerque without the meth.
Right.
What's the show?
Breaking Bad?
It may as well have been filmed in Albuquerque.
Such a good show.
Yeah, so we...
Wasn't it? Said it may as well have been. Yeah.
It was in New Mexico.
I'm pretty sure it was just Albuquerque.
It probably
the houses, they filmed in New Mexico.
Yeah.
It must have been in Albuquerque then.
Yeah.
So...
Fuck Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So
all my homies hate Albuquerque.
Fuck the A-town.
Atlanta?
Albuquerque.
They'll come after you, bro.
Yeah, they will.
They'll come after you.
Wow,
they won't?
No. I'm not saying fuck Atlanta. No. Fuck Albuquerque.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is fuck Albuquerque.
Fuck Albuquerque.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Albuquerque.
That's not the stance of the Sonder Experience.
Oh, hey, shout out Albuquerque. Just playing. I'm kidding.
All views expressed are those of
No.
the individual people
Yeah.
participating.
No, I
in
love
the show.
Breaking Bad.
Look,
It's
guys, there's a
fine.
reason why Bugs Buggy actually made the wrong turns because he spent so much time there. He enjoyed his time so much. He's like, oh, shit, I must have made that
Oh,
wrong
well,
turn.
fuck Albuquerque.
Yeah, well, fuck Albuquerque.
Sorry, bro.
You're good. So about midway through the week that I was there, I thought about it and I was like, okay, I can literally hear my little brother telling me, stop being a fucking baby and just go back to school. Go finish, right? I had planned on going back to finish. I was just going to take the semester off. And he's like, I literally heard this entire conversation in my mind is, why the fuck would you do that? Like, yeah, I understand. Be sad. That's fine. Be sad. But just get back in and go do it. Go finish it. So called or emailed all of my professors except the one and said, if it's okay with you, I would actually like to continue in the class. I'm sorry, I'm a little behind. I told them why. And they're like, don't even worry about it. We're literally going to just pretend like you started at this point.
Yeah.
Because it was the first week of the semester that it happened. So, like, I came back.
Oh, no, you missed syllabus review.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, and the first, like, chapter and everything else, right? They're like, don't even worry about it. You'll be good. So, I wrote out to those guys again, told them, that I can do the interview and everything like that. So, they're like, okay, sweet. I didn't tell them why, but I told them I could. So I met up with them. We got to talking. Like the type of questions that they ask are like, if there's one thing you could live without, what would it be? Jeans.
Fucking a lot.
I said jeans.
Apparently.
Jeans? Pretty good
Jeans.
answer, yeah.
I'm never out of shorts or sweats. I have a single pair of jeans. They still need to be hemmed, and I got them Christmas 2018. Cool. I haven't worn them a single time.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, my legs are my only attractive part of my body, so I get you.
Yeah. See?
Let me see.
I'll show you after.
Nah, bro. You got your own fucking shindig now.
Negative.
Come on,
He's
man.
ready.
OnlyFans part 2.
Oh, dude.
OnlyFans part
Only
1 was the
hands.
9-hour session. Only hands.
Only hamstrings, bro.
Oh, God.
Whatever. You don't have to.
So I'm in the middle of this conversation, right? So they asked me like a bunch of questions like that, and then they're like, okay, so if you don't mind, I was like, now that we got these questions out of the way, if you don't mind, do you mind telling us why you actually had to cancel on us the first time? So I told them, and they were like, oh my gosh, man, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's all right. I was like, it really does suck, but I've kind of grown accustomed to death. And they're like, why? Did you have a lot of family members die? I was like, well, no, I did my deployment to Afghanistan. They're like, you're a vet? I'm like, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps. I went to Afghanistan in 2011. So then we got it. It turned from a 30-minute interview to a 2.5-hour conversation. So the guy writes up all the pieces that he needs for that section. He just sits there and reads it. He told me he read it like five, 6 times, just one after the other. He just goes, knowing everything I know about this guy, I can't just put this piece out. So he sent me a text and was like, would you be up for a full-on story and we'd feature you in our magazine? I was like, sure, man. I said any opportunity to be able to. That's me on the cover, by the way.
Oh shit, that's you on the cover.
Yeah.
It's fucking hot.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Wow. That's gangster.
Yeah. So it turned into a 10-month process. It was 10 months. We did like probably 10, 12 video interviews, about 8,000 photos. He literally followed me around. He'd be like, all right, I'm going to follow you around from this day to this day. And I'll come in, we'll meet up at like 8 o'clock, and I'll leave at 6 p.m. every day. I was like, okay, sweet. So that's literally what we did. And he said, literally just live your life exactly how you live it. I just want to get a glimpse into it. So then we talked more about my deployment and everything. And then they came out with this piece, and they said, this isn't the only piece. We actually have 2 more that we're going to run, but they're going to be on our website. So that's technically story 1 of 3, because the story was so long that they said that they would have taken out the entire magazine for it to cover just what they wanted to write.
Right.
So when people ask me why I did that story, it's because PTSD is probably one of, and in in my opinion, one of the most stigmatized mental disabilities out there, right? Because the reason why I didn't tell anybody about my PTSD is because I didn't want to be seen as that crazy guy. Oh shit, dude, he's got PTSD. Stay the fuck away from him, right? So that's just the stigma that everyone has, and that's not the case. And why would you try to stay away from someone who could potentially need help?
Right.
Right? Or like it's that mentality of you never know the type of day someone's having, right? You told me about that story about those guys at the gym, right? And who fucking knows what type of day you were having that day?
Sure.
Right? That could have been the day that you were like,
yeah, that could have been the last straw.
yeah, right?
So but they don't fucking care.
Right.
People don't care. It's easy enough because they get to go home and they don't need to deal with it.
Right. And it's because they're ignorant about it, right?
Yeah.
That's the story. Right.
For sure.
So that's how I ended up in a magazine.
I'm not in any fucking magazines. That's awesome. Dude, I don't even know what to say to that because you've lived a fucking life that most people in America will never know from what bullshit movies talk about. And it's not like the movies. This is real fucking life.
Yeah.
You did this. You survived this. And now you're still doing it. And not only are you doing it, you're helping others do it too. That honorable. Extremely honorable.
Thank you.
You should be proud. I'm sure you are. I'm sure your wife is.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome, bro.
Dude, it's been a long fucking road. Like, and even more than what we've mentioned in this time frame, there's a shit.
No, there's a
more.
whole life.
There's a whole
There's
fucking
a whole
life.
fucking life, dude.
Dude, a whole fucking life. I mean, I had my first near-death experience at 8 months old.
Hell yeah.
My heart literally stopped beating at 8 months old. I stopped breathing for almost 10 minutes. And literally my mom had to squeeze the life back in me.
That's, man, so you were born for it then.
Yeah.
You were born for it.
I think that's another reason why I still ask myself that same question and still come up with the same answer every day. Is because of all the people that I know, if any of them were to experience half of the things that I've experienced.
Yeah.
Like, I love them all to death. I don't think they could handle it to the same extent that I did. Not necessarily that they would take their own life, but I think a lot of them would reach that mentality of I have PTSD. Kind of like having an out.
A crutch.
For autism.
Yeah.
Right?
It's super easy to just be like, I suck at this because I'm autistic.
Right.
That's one thing that me and him get into it about. Because I don't let him fucking do that. And he doesn't do it. But I'm always forcing him to come be interactive.
Wouldn't you rather be the person, instead of going, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it because I have autism, wouldn't you rather be like, I did this in spite of the fact that I had autism?
Yeah, that's true. But it is always nice to have that as, like, being completely blatantly honest.
Yeah.
If I screw up in a conversation, like, bad, it's nice to always have that safety net. That's nice.
Thanks, man.
He's dead now.
That's
Good one.
That safety net of just like...
Show him your fucking knuckles.
Dude.
Yeah. Oh, no, but the...
Yeah, the fact that you can... Oh, Jesus. Repeat it.
Yeah, anyways. It's nice to have a safety net. Just be like...
I mean, I understand
you
to have
can't
it...
even be mad at me. I'm weird.
I mean, I understand having an explanation for it, right? If it was something like really bad, like, I'm so sorry. I really don't understand what happened there. I do deal with autism, so I'm having this issue. Or, like, for me, I'm dealing with PTSD, right? So, like, when I start to get angry, I start to feel like black shades are starting to, like, just droop around my eyes. And then as I get angry, it starts to close in until eventually I just completely black out. And then... Like, my wife, and she'll probably tell you too, is that last time she saw me start to black out, she literally stood up and she said, "No," and got up and walked out of the room because she one, doesn't want to see it and doesn't want to be anywhere near me when it happens because I can't tell the difference on who it is that is causing this blackout and who else is around me. It's just people around me. So then I reach that mentality of, like, fuck, I'm being attacked, so I just need to start beating the shit out of everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I try really hard to avoid reaching that point as often as possible.
Nervous now.
Yeah, so that brings segues nicely into a question I had thought of earlier. Have you ever considered doing any like fighting or like MMA, boxing, anything like that?
Jiu-jitsu.
I used to do jiu-jitsu.
Really?
I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I did Gracie Baja gyms in California, and then I was doing a BJJ club when I was going to school in Montana, and excuse me, I was grappling with a really inexperienced roller, and he had only been doing it for like a month, right? And I was trying to like teach him a little bit along the way. Like, oh yeah, no, you want to do this, So I kind of let him put me into an arm bar, but he was face down, so my arm was like this, right? So I was trying to pull just a little bit so I can rotate my thumb, because if I can rotate my thumb, he can't get a hold of that arm bar, right? So I started to make this pull, and what he did was he turned around, leaned up, and then screamed back and yanked my elbow out of the socket.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it back in, and I stood up, and like literally I rolled over onto the mat, put my knee on my forearm, and then moved it back into place. And I stood up and went, all right, if anybody at all has Advil, leave. Tylenol. I don't give a fuck. Someone has Midol. Give me that shit yesterday.
My kingdom for an aspirin.
Yeah. So someone's like, dude, I got some Advil for you. I was like, give me that shit now. And so like I popped it, right? Went to go get ready to go to the hospital to go get my elbow looked at. But my wife and I hadn't eaten in like 6 hours. So we're both pretty hungry. So I'm still sitting there holding onto my elbow. And we're like, let's go to Arby's.
Just handle
so
this.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know if I can actually like hold on to something to eat. So I was like, just get me a milkshake. So I'm literally sitting in the ER room holding onto a milkshake, and I'm literally like got it cradled like this in my arm, holding my other elbow and just drinking a milkshake in the ER. And then they're like, did you eat anything? I was like, no, I didn't eat anything. I mean, I drank a milkshake just now. And they're like, bro, we're about to do a CT scan, X-ray. You're like, yeah. And they're like, are you on any pain meds right now? I was like, well, I popped some Advil a little bit ago.
Fucking
like,
feeling good.
Like I was checking all the wrong boxes, right? Mm-hmm. But they scanned it and everything like that. They're like, yeah, you dislocated it. You had a small fracture. And I was like, okay, fuck. And after that point, I thought about it, and I was like, at the time, I was actually still trying to live my swimming dream, and I'll tell you about that in a sec. So I decided, I was like, well, I really need to pick my battles, right? So I chose to go with swimming and weightlifting as opposed to fighting. Like, I mean, I grew up a wrestler. I still love the idea of possibly getting back into wrestling, doing like masters wrestling or something like that. And just
fucking catch wrestling, bro.
Dude, I fucking love wrestling.
Dude, you should get into wrestling or jiu-jitsu or something, fucking fight a bear or something.
I mean, the plan is to get into sword fighting when I'm 50 pounds less.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What kind of swords?
Just
like the two-handed big ass?
Just
the
sword,
claymore?
Just sword and board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We should go LARP.
I mean, we can.
Fireball.
Dude,
you
Fireball.
You haven't seen my armor, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So my swimming dream. So
oh yeah.
So when I got my diagnosis for PTSD, they took me off of the 7-month booze cruise that I was planning on going, and they put me in the Wounded Warrior Regiment, mm-hmm. which is basically where all the wounded, ill, and injured Marines and sailors just focus on trying to recover, right? Whether it's a missing limb, PTSD, traumatic brain injury, whatever reason, so that way they can put in for their medical board, get their disability, and get out. So that's where they put me. And one of my first days there, one of the guys comes up to me, he's like, do you like sports? I was like, dude, I fucking love sports. They're like, all right, what's your favorite? And I was like, well, I had a track scholarship in high school. I was like, unfortunately, that got taken. I was a swimmer, a wrestler, basketball player, soccer, football, bowling, like all the things. And they're like, well, we have, out of all those things, we have swimming and track. Would you want to do those things for the Marine Corps? And I was like, fuck yeah, I would. So, the first or the second competition I went to was in Colorado Springs, and we went to like the Olympic Training Center, went to the Air Force Academy, did some really cool shit there. And during the swimming competition, I swam a 50 freestyle that was only a second away from Olympic trial qualifying.
Damn.
Yeah, I swam a 24.6, and Olympic trial qualifying is 23.59.
That's crazy.
So I was just
I can float really good. Like I float like a motherfucker.
There you go.
Yeah, bro.
Dude.
Titanic, I'd have been fine.
Dude, you know what? Do you?
Dude,
You wouldn't even freeze to death. You got
dude.
all these layers keeping you warm.
I've just been vibing.
What you guys don't actually know is that he was actually the door that they were floating on.
Ah.
Damn it.
You're not upset about Kate Winslet laying on you for so long?
Fine.
Jack drowned because he was like, "Can I get up?" You're like, "No, that's gay."
No,
I'm
yeah,
something
literally
else.
just kept
down there
nudging him
pulling
away.
his leg.
Every time he tried to get up, just yank it down. He's like, "No,
I'm the
dude, this is
fucking
for
door.
Kate only."
I'm the door. That's cool. I'm just kidding.
Nah. You'd let Leo lay on you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Hell yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. So at that time, when I had the dislocation in my elbow, that's when I decided, because I was still trying to train to possibly go to the Olympic trials.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, yeah, no, I gotta go with what I think is actually gonna be best for me. And I don't necessarily miss BJJ. Like I like rolling around with people, right? I like the idea of being able to choke somebody out with their own arm. But
yeah, it's cool.
It's really
super
cool.
Cool.
And I like training people who want to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I have 2 clients that one trains BJJ, kickboxing, and wrestling, and then another one who trains BJJ, Muay Thai, and I think she also does kickboxing.
That's heavy.
And they're both like, I can literally just run them into the fucking dirt, and they like I'll switch it up and make it situational for them. I'll be like, you know, you got 10 calories left on the bike. I'll be like, all right, right now you're in overtime, you're down by 2. You need to get your ass moving. You got to roll them at least twice in order to win this match. Fucking move. And then you'll see them, and they drop to a whole different level, and they close their eyes and dig, fucking hard. They can just take a beating, man.
When you had me doing that fucking bike, dude, I wanted to flip it over on you.
Yeah, I know.
I hated that.
I could see it.
I hated that with everything I had.
I know. And it's going to be there more. Just so you know. It's not going to be every time. Not going to be every session. But it is going to be there more. And it's just because that cardio, man.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did 10 seconds. So he literally had his hands on the handles. It was a fan bike.
Yeah.
And it was 10 seconds of just giving everything you got, 5 seconds of rest. And we did it, 8 times?
Oh, fuck. You said I did 2 minutes.
Yep. So 8. Yeah, it was 8 times with 10 on, 5 off.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
2 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
And I was fucking dying.
I didn't do. I don't think it was that rapid. I think it was more spread out. So I think it was like 5 minutes. Then you'd have like a much longer period of just as fast as you freaking can push, and then a longer period of rest. But you're still going.
Right.
I was pushing as hard as I could. I've never done that.
Yeah.
So I gave that. I don't know what it looked like. But
Dude,
I gave
it was
that
awesome.
Everything I had.
Dude, I was telling you about it.
You
You were
to the ocean, man.
Dude, I was
was telling you
put
about
my
it.
head down and just handled business, and my shoulders were on fire. Couldn't breathe.
It was after arm day too.
Oh god.
I was hurting.
Well, and I told you that the amount of calories that you put in that 2 minutes, some of my clients couldn't hit in 5 minutes,
Well, that's
and you were
good.
doing it in 2.
That's
So
cool.
it shows that you have power, right? The cardio stamina may not be there yet, but the power is, right? And that's why, like, I know that that's why we talked about it. I know that you're strong. And I know that you can move these heavy weights. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I just want to look like you, but like taller.
I personally never really.
You know, I want to look like me too, but taller. I'd love to look like me, but taller.
I never really went for I have to lift the heaviest things. I have to pick up the heaviest thing and then put it back down, because in my mind it's always, well, what am I going to run into more in life? I'm already strong enough, just base form Blake, to handle most things that are going to come at me in life, just pure power wise. What I need is to be able to do things for a while. So
That's true.
yeah.
I
Like
get,
if I'm helping you move, I can pick something up. You can attest to this. I can pick something up with the best of them, but I can pick up like 3 things before I'm tapped out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where that comes in, right? That's why we're doing the muscular endurance stuff.
But I really felt like I had a good understanding of weightlifting, and then I started with you, and I feel like I'm starting at 1.
You have a good base. Okay, if it was on a level of 1 to 5, I'd say you're hovering right around 2 to 3.
That's good, I guess.
Okay, it's not 1.
I thought it was a 10.
10
That's
out
what
of
I'm
5?
saying. I thought it was a 10
5.
out of a
I
5.
thought it was 10 out of 5.
I thought I was doing it.
I wish I had that confidence in anything.
I thought I was good.
But the thing is, and I mean that's again kind of an ego thing too, is that mentality of I know it.
I knew it.
And,
There's nothing
I
nobody could tell me.
I don't need to know anything else, right?
No.
That's the same thing with like diving into the kind of the Olympic world. Michael Phelps beat a guy in the 100 fly by 1/100th of a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think he finished that race and went, well, that was good enough. I don't need to train anymore.
Mm-mm.
Right? Hell no. He's like, fuck, I need to make that longer. I need to make sure that 1/100th of a second is fucking 100 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? You should always, he's the best swimmer in the world and is still always trying to better himself. And so that, don't view it as you don't know anything, is that you're learning new things so that you can better your ability in the gym.
So let's end with this then. Let's close this out. But I want to know, with the life that you've lived and the experiences that you've had, what is some advice or what are some kind, loving words that you would say to somebody that's just now going through what you've already been through?
Pain is temporary. I mean, I lost my little brother 5 years ago. It still sucks. I still experience it. But when I have my bad days, I don't try as hard as I can to get rid of that day, right? I will still be like, okay, what are you doing? Get your ass up, like go do things, right? But if I still can't shake that feeling after, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours, then I just take that as a sign that I just need to take that day and just be. Just be. And then you go to bed and you go, tomorrow is a new day. Everything that's done today, it's done. It's gone. Done. Literally nothing else you can do, right? It's time to move on. And so that's how I felt about it. That, like, I watched you talking about the meds that you were on when you were a kid, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can do about that now, right? So why be angry about it? Why still be upset about it, right? Yeah. The biggest thing that I actually tell as many people as possible, and this would probably be the real quote that gets me through most of my stuff. There is nothing to worry about until there is something to worry about.
I love those little fucking things, dude, because they're so powerful.
Like,
my favorite one is whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. 90% of placebos is believing that it's going to work, right? So believing that there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about, right? My wife is getting ready to start a new job, and she was having damn near daily heart attack on the idea of having to tell her boss that she was going to be leaving. And so I was like, why? Why is this so upsetting to you? And she's like, well, what if she does this? And I was like, what if she doesn't? Mm-hmm. Why are you going to sit here and cause this much anxiety and this much angst in yourself about something that could not even happen?
And if it does, you have no control over it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then here's the thing, is like, right now, your job, you're bottom man on the totem pole in this entire company. I was like, I love you to death, but you're replaceable in that company. Mm-hmm. You just are, right? They're going to, like, some of the people that you know, they're going to be upset that you leave. The company that you work for is not going to be upset that you leave. Sure. They're going to be like, all right, who's going to be the next one then? Where are we getting them from? Right? So when she told her boss that she was leaving, she said, oh my gosh, that works perfectly for you. And she goes, okay, take me out of my boss position, put me as an individual, do this move. This is for you. Because it gave my wife, the job that she's getting gives her more access to be able to get to me if I do have one of my bad days and I still have to work. She can come out to me, she can take care of me, and this other job will allow her to do that without the fear of going, why are you not at your desk? Why are you not at your computer? She'd be like, well, I'm taking care of my husband. I'm a caregiver for him. They'll be like, oh, got it. Don't worry. And they still keep her clocked in during that time. Whereas the other one is like, you need to take vacation time, you need to take sick time. And so I told her, I said, why are you going to give yourself all of this anxiety about something that probably won't happen? I was like, from what you've told me about your boss, she's going to be probably one of the most supportive people that you talk to. And she's like, no, she's going to be so upset at me. She's going to yell at me. She's going to tell me to get out of the office. I'm not even going to be able to finish out my 2 weeks. I was like, and then, right? She would be like, well, what if she does this? And then I just let her keep going, because it was like, you're going to run out of things to be afraid of. And I'm going to tell you, every single one of those things is not necessary to be afraid of.
It's imaginary until it happens.
Right. Or what I'll do is she'll be like, well, what if she gets upset at me and tells me walk out the door? I'm like, okay. I wish I had 32 toes. There we go. I've said something silly. Your turn.
When I was growing
No, it makes sense, dude.
Right? Because it diffuses that tension, and then it teaches her that it teaches the individual, right? My wife is doing phenomenal with this mentality now, right? And I'm helping a lot of my clients as well who are like, well, what if I don't lose this weight? What if you do? What if I don't hit this weight? What if you do?
Right.
Why are you going to worry about it now? We aren't there yet.
There's two
We're
sides
still
of
months.
this coin, baby.
Yeah, dude. You have your weight loss goal, right?
Yeah.
So, are you going to be worried about not hitting it because you're currently not there?
No. That's not who I am right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not who you are right at this point. So why are you going to worry about that?
No.
There's no point.
When I was growing up, I was reading. I like to read a lot, and
I'm sorry.
I don't remember what book it was, but there was some dumb little like kids fantasy adventure book that I was reading that just hit me with the most random piece of wisdom that I've taken throughout most of my life. And it was just worry with a purpose. It's just, as long as worrying is helping you plan, helping you come up with actual like problems or solutions, by all means worry. But the instant you start to run into these little thought loops where you're just trying to anticipate what you can't possibly know what's going to happen, just cut it, because you're not helping.
Yeah.
You're just hindering.
Right. Because just you're literally spending so much more of your energy. I don't know about you guys, but when I worry about things, or when I get sad or upset, my energy levels are gone almost instantaneously. But when I have a better mood, when I have some good food in my belly, I will I'm much more approachable. I can manage things. I can think things through, right? I mean, it's kind of like you were saying that when you were at like one of the barbecues, you felt the need that you just reached the end of your day and you're like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I'm the exact same way. Like, I'm very social. I will talk to all kinds of people, but once I hit that limit, I can't do any more. It is so exhausting, and it is a huge mental strain to just have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you saw my Instagram.
See, I don't know what that's like.
You saw my Instagram. The last post was from February 7th.
Right.
Right? And that's just because it is a fucking work.
Yeah. To
have to sit there and try to piece together what you're gonna put on there, what you're gonna write, how you're gonna tag it, and I'm like, fuck, like, I could be smoking a bowl right now.
I had this exact same thought process yesterday when I had finished editing that video, and I was gonna post it, and I was like, man, what tags do I put? What do I name it? What do I put in the description? What do I do for all of this? I just got my new pen. I wish I could just go outside right now.
Yeah. Dude, it is weird, because I used to never have that mentality where I could be. I used to be up when I was swimming as a kid. We would spend entire weekends in these other towns, and we would actually get the cops to play cops and robbers with us at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, we're all underage, and it's well after midnight. We're supposed to be
right.
But we're all like, we're swimmers. Let's just fucking do this. So they'd be driving out with their fucking spotlights looking for us and shit. I could do that and stay up for 32 hours and not have a problem. Now I'm like, fuck, I've been up for 12 hours. Jesus Christ.
It's time for bed.
Yeah.
Dude, I go to bed at like 8:15.
Dude, I go to bed. I wake up at 2.
Okay.
I'm in bed by 5:30.
Yeah.
Asleep.
Yeah.
It's miserable.
I was asleep at 5:30 yesterday too. Took a sick 4-hour nap in the middle of my day, and that was a mistake.
What'd you do with your first 9 hours?
Yeah, bro. Let me smell your hands.
Edited.
They were looking pretty fuzzy today.
Let me see those fucking mitts, bro. So that's what you're leaving people with. Yeah. Pain is temporary.
Pain is temporary, and there's nothing to worry about until there's something to worry about. It will pass. This too shall pass. I mean, that's one of the most common ones I hear. This too shall pass, and it will.
Well,
words to live by.
I definitely appreciate you coming out and coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This was awesome for me.
This was a blast. I mean,
And then shoulders today.
shoulders. Shoulder day's my
Be
jam.
nice to me.
I'm gonna be nice.
All right, bro.
No.
Don't worry. I
I
brought lube.
appreciate you, Doug.
I brought lube.
Yeah. Finger touch. Later, y'all. Thanks for showing up.